Welcome back to the Yas Marina circuit as we get everything set to go racing here for round 11 of the Champions Series. Making its debut in 2009, this circuit has been known for closing out championships for quite some time in Formula 1 in real life, and much the same is the case here today. A reprofiled track with different sections of corners, turn 5 and turn 9 being the biggest differences to aid racing and wheel-to-wheel action. And the 5 red lights are on as the sun sets in Abu Dhabi. We are going to go racing. Alex Fox Johnson from the lead of the pack, and No Name alongside him. Once again, Alex Fox Johnson getting a stellar getaway, but behind him, it is 3 wide through the first corner, and a massive collision then for Vosti, and the terrible luck of the Alfa Romeo squad continues.
So it's fastest lap of the race on those old hards.
Interesting stuff. As we have a move side by side, Wheaton, Vosti to the inside of Leaky Valve, and Vosti around the outside then of turn 7 gains that position, but now of course the Red Bull driver will have rear wing advantage to try a counterattack into turn number 9. Which way is Vosti going to go? He's just going to stay in front, and by the looks of it, he has so much more overspeed as the Red Bull spins and collides with the second Mercedes of Andrew Sichting.
You're on board with the guy I'm on board with. Let's take a look back as Duck Lover is just able to get ahead of Kos into the corner. No, Kos cutting back on the inside like I called it, the switchback, and he does get the move back, and Duck Lover's back down to 11. Oh my goodness!
A spin from Charles Leclerc on exit from turn 9. Now he's got his vision filled with Duck Lovers' Aston Martin car. Kos Sylvie immediately in front of him, trailing the two Alfa Romeos. Now Kos Sylvie making a move around the outside, actually, of its Vosti and securing that position. Brilliant. Stays ahead of the Williams as he nearly strokes the back of that diffuser, just barely missing it into the braking zone of turn 6. Now Adezi's got speed. He fakes to the outside. Now to the inside. The two go side by side, and Adezi gets his foot down the inside of the Aston Martin into the subsequent corner. They go, and still Duck Lovers maintaining that position. Game back against Dougie Falcons. No Name will happily take it as Kos Sylvie goes side by side with Stelios Repas, making a very clean overtake indeed into turn 6 and 7. And now both Mercedes and Aston Martin really have only one car in the top 10 as Stelios Repas gets a little bit too close for comfort to the back of that was Kos Sylvie and wave the Mercedes driver by. He's going to have to negotiate this gaggle of drivers in some organized fashion all on his own.
Absolutely, and it looks like he does go into the pits. Jaquan finally on this.
Oh, another collision! Huge collision, Wheaton. Oh, a huge collision as the Alfa Romeo of Stelios Repas shattered on his safety car restart.
Desi was caught napping once again, but Hudson all over the back of Charles. Looks like he's going to get that move done into the hairpin.
Very close stuff, and Hudson uses that outside to go particularly deep against his rival, and Charles concedes. Not much he can do there, of course, as Hudson Poole blasts that overtake, now lining up to the inside of Adezi. Charles Leclerc looking to make it 3 wide into the chicane. Hudson Poole is clear. Charles Leclerc immediately behind Zay, and these two drivers neck and neck now. No Name immediately behind them on much faster tires. Hudson Poole slipping away from him at an alarming rate as these two form a rolling roadblock in front of the McLaren driver. Then right next to him is Dougie Falcons as these two go 2 by 2 into turn number 9, and it is just brilliant racing. Here's the McLaren driver trying to use that tire advantage, but it is Charles Leclerc who manages to leverage a better racing line. He actually concedes corner 11. He's been actually slipping down the order here as he may have made a mistake through the 3rd sector. He's well out on the outside of the track, and a spin. It is a spin from Charles Leclerc on exit from turn 14 and 1.
Yeah, the incident with Klinsmann was with Kos Sylvie. For some reason, Klinsmann had bounced off of him and went flying and spinning into a wall, and now Kos Sylvie was able to recover by going off of track.
Oh, goodness, Sweden, apologies for interrupting there. It looked like for a second, Zay actually bounced off of Dougie Falcons in just the same way and almost violently into the wall, but it looked like it was just lag, and the drivers are doing just fine as Dougie Falcons collects No Name, straightens him out, Wreckfest style, Wheaton, and may have taken some damage to his front wing. We have further yellow flag, and, well, do let us know if you saw anything there in the chicane.
Oh, absolutely. I was on board with Alex Fox Johnson as he dive-bombed the corner, and I don't think it was his fault that the cars in front of him were sideways, but he absolutely, once again, huge dive bomb from Alex Fox Johnson, and I realized Zay was driving incredibly slowly and tried to go around him as now he's trying to overtake Zay under yellow flag conditions. There's a spinning Freddie Rozelle under yellow flag conditions. Oh, that was a virtual safety car. We're going racing again.
That's right. Yeah, it's yellow flags in Sector 2 still with that spun Haas on the circuit. Freddie Rozelle's actually DNF'd. And Dougie Falcons has managed to barge his way past No Name here through the third sector.
So, driver in almost a 3-wide moment there as Jaquan gets up in the mix. Side by side, Jaquan and Dougie Falcons. The fight for P3 continues.
And Adezi makes the overtake stick on Kos Sylvie. His driver's a little bit in front. No Name's actually gotten himself out of DRS from Jaquan, and Jaquan will be a nice insulation. Meepo side by side with Duck Lovers through the first corner, and Meepo also gains that position. Brilliant move by train between Meepo and Duck Lovers, looking to go potentially 3 wide. Is he going to take the inside line of the following corner? No, he's not, but he's got Duck Lovers around his outside, and he is all out of battery. Is Kos Sylvie conceding this position?
Move done. Stuck behind the Alpha Tauri, who makes a mistake on exit of turn 14, and now side by side they're going through the final couple of corners. This is very dangerous if they're going to leave each other another space, and absolutely Jaquan does not leave Dougie Falcons enough space. Shoves him off the track 3 wide. Adezi, Dougie Falcons, and Jaquan on the main straight where we don't see any overtaking, and there goes Adezi up into P3 from that little squabble.
Long as inside 2, these guys nearly spinning each other as they go side by side towards turn number 6. Now is Dougie Falcons going to try the inside? No. And Jaquan putting on the brakes. Dougie Falcons actually urging him off the track, forcing him to cut the corner, and he rejoins onto the circuit. Not entirely clear if there's any sort of penalty for that, but now they're going 3 wide, Wheaton, with a Meepo involved as well. Jaquan now behind. Dougie Falcons on the inside of turn 2 and forcing Meepo the long way around. Meanwhile, Duck Lovers behind him. Now both Aston Martins have turned their fortunes around in front of him. But will Jaquan be able to force Meepo into an odd line or into a mistake? We can see he's already out of battery, so he's going to be vulnerable as he actually goes side by side here with Duck Lovers. Oh my goodness, vulnerable, not so much. Meepo's on the attack, and he takes that 5th position away. Duck Lovers going side by side now with Jaquan, who's back with a vengeance. Jaquan looking to sneak a move down the inside of Meepo, and he collides with Duck Lovers following the slight nudge from Jaquan. Struggling here against the medium tire driver. Maybe those hards are not doing as well as he would have hoped. Adezi taking a wide entry to this hairpin. He's got Klinsmann down the inside of him, and Klinsmann's boxing Adezi in. Oh no, the Ferraris are now running in the slipstream, and actually that gives him the overspeed he needs to overtake Adezi clean. And Klinsmann getting past Camborne. Camborne now blocking Adezi, preventing him from challenging his teammate. This is brilliant stuff as now Adezi has its Vosti along the inside of him. This restart has gone all wrong for the Williams driver. Vosti making a pass as well. Guess who's right behind him now? It is Duck Lovers, not Kos Sylvie. Forgive me, I thought I knew the answer. I did not. Kos Sylvie around the outside of Duck Lovers. He's trying to maintain that position. He does. He still has a foot down the inside of the next 2 corners, and he will likely have the advantage on Duck Lovers. He nearly concedes the braking zone of Adezi. Oh goodness, it is getting so very close here.
Putting his number 2 driver out onto the softs, great strategy call there. As we still see a lot of battling up there in the
is that a retcon to the Ferrari on softs theory we heard earlier on in the race today? None the matter, barely staying within touching distance of No Name. He's likely burning a little bit of battery now to be able to remain within that DRS window as Duck Lovers runs wide here. Vosti defending against him. Adezi side by side with him, and Adezi collides! Adezi collides with Alex Fox Johnson. Wheaton! Adezi retires from the race. Falcons entering the chicane. Nothing he can do because Dougie Falcons has DRS against him to defend with. Dougie Falcons out of battery. Klinsmann with plenty of battery now. He's going to use it to good effect, fighting for the podium, fighting for 2nd place in this Grand Prix. Klinsmann around the outside of Dougie Falcons. He nails it. And the Champions Series, we will go on board with Hudson Poole, who will finally be able to claim that race victory. I believe he's got one this season, but he gets another. Hudson Poole rounding the final corner of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and he wins the penultimate round of racing here in the Champions Series. No Name coming across ahead of Klinsmann, but that penalty will relegate him back. Klinsmann in second position. Jaquan in a brilliant third. What a brilliant Grand Prix from him as a reserve driver, coming home in second. And now all of our drivers up on the podium celebrating together. What a brilliant Grand Prix. What an unpredictable Grand Prix. What did we say, Wheaton? With 6 laps to go in a Champion Series race, you will not know how it ends. You cannot know how it ends. Whatever you guess, it will be different. And it was the case. Once again, the Red Bull, the Ferrari, and of course the Alpha Tauri drivers celebrate.